Okay, let's keep going. We're going to do task 2 now. All right, what we're doing here is figuring out on a product line basis where we stand. And we also want to tinker around and see what would the volumes have to be given our variables that we know in our sales mix to generate a certain target profit and to calculate what that margin of safety would be at that level. Okay, so we're going to go get our break even again in units. Let's go back to 1A and get that. And then we're going to get our weighted average price, which is back on the very first tab. So weighted average price. And then let's multiply those. So that break even sales dollars, let me show you where that came from. It's also back here, right there, right? So it's break even sales dollars. Okay, now what I want to do is break it into these 3 areas, the cafe, the wholesale, and the retail. Okay, so the cafe was 42, the wholesale was 20%, so that's a total of 62%, which is what we did back here. 62%, right? And then the retail is 38. So that's where those are coming from. So all we have to do then is take the sales, break-even sales, times the sales mix, which is C9. It's covering it up on me, so I'm just going to type it in. And anchor this down, because that's a reference every time. Then you can pull that across. So what it's doing there is grabbing the break-even sales times this mix, right? Break-even sales times the mix. So it's telling us these 3 areas, how that would break down for the year. And then this would be 100%. So we just add those up. Of course, we should get the 307,793. And we do, right? So we just spread the sales out based on the sales mix. To get us break even in units for the year. So the other place we did per day, so we could look at that. This is for the year, just divide by the price. So remember, we charge $9.60 to the cafe for a pound of coffee. So that's the number of pounds that we would have at break-even point. And then we can just copy that across. So those are pounds for wholesale to break even, and those are pounds for retail to break even. And those are for the entire year. All right, now the current contribution margin ratio, which you calculate back here on task 1A, let me show you right there, 25.8. And let's say that we'd like to do a little better. So let me take you back over there so I can show you. We only made 9.1% profit margin. That would be an operating margin, right? Which is this number divided by sales. We made about 9.1%. So one of the questions we might say is, well, what does the volume have to be in order for me to earn a little better than that at a percentage? Let's say 15%. So to get 15% here, how do these numbers roll out? What's that look like? So put in the 15% here. That would be what you have on the bottom, and back into what you would have in between. So the difference between these two, let me go back and show you what I mean. So right now, we got 9.1% on the bottom. We'd like to turn that into 15. So this number right here, this 16.7, has got to be the difference between 25.8, because this is fixed. You can't move this. These numbers here, these are in the short term, those on a per. This number is fixed, right? So this number as a percentage of sales, because that's what that is, percent of sales, is variable because this numerator stays fixed. So when this gets bigger, you're dividing by that, then this is going to get smaller. So we're saying, well, how small would it have to be in order for me to get 15% on the bottom line? And the answer is it would have to be 10.8, right? Because the difference between the two is 10.8. That's what I'm calculating right there. Is what's the maximum percentage of fixed costs in the structure. So I can't go any higher than that. So then if I take my fixed costs, which were given and calculated in the last problem, which is this number. So that was already, I left that there for you. and we figure out what the sales have to be to get that maximum percentage, we'd say this divided by this. So we'd have to have 730, 796 in sales to be able to make this work. And I'm going to have you do a proof here so we can prove those numbers work. Hang in there. All right, right now this is break-even sales, right? This is break-even sales. Actual sales here are back here, 474, 872. That was 2019. In order for us to get more out of this and get a stronger bottom line, generate better profitability, we'd have to increase sales by quite a lot, right? Increase in sales. And I'll calculate the percentage. Hang on. What I want to do though is roll out what each product line would have to be at that level. We anchor down the F piece. We can copy that across, and then we can add it up just to double check our work. Should equal 733, 796, yes. All right, and divide out. So this is sales dollars divided by price to get quantity. Copy. All right, so look, we'd have to sell this per pound of coffee on this. It's a huge increase. Here we'd have to sell this number of pounds of coffee wholesale. This would be break even. Okay, so it's quite a ways above break even point. These are break even numbers. And this is where we'd have to land to break even. So quite a bit higher than that. Okay, quite a bit of an increase over our current level too. All right, so anyway, margin of safety for each product line. So that would be the current sales at that level minus the break-even sales at that level. So for each product line, there's that. And then let's get the total too. So total sales at that level minus break-even sales. All right, so that's the margin of safety we'd have at that level of sales. So that's huge. That's almost as much total sales we have right now. Let's go get that total sales we have right now. Sales dollars back here. That's it right there for 2019. That is the number. Okay, so what that increase? That would be 733 minus this. Okay, maybe a $259,000 increase. What is that as a percent? Take this and divide by the old sales. It's a 55% increase in sales from our current level. Okay, it's much higher than that from break even, but we're already above break even. We should be looking at what's the increase relative to where we are right now. So that would be pretty tough to do for us to make that kind of profit. And I wanted to show you how to do that, what the analysis is like and how you go about breaking it into product lines to figure out what your channels would have to look like given your current sales mix. Okay. All right, I want to prove that this 733 does in fact give you a 15% operating margin. So let's go to task 2B. I think we can keep this video rolling and get that done. So going to task 2B. All we have to do here is go get the weighted average units. So we're going to go over to task 2A F19 and we'll divide by task 2A F6. Okay, so that's going to give us the weighted average units at that level. So it's 59,000. Okay, and these stay fixed, remember? Prices, whatever the price is, the cost is, whatever you calculated it as, that's our contribution margin per unit. That gives us total contribution margin here. This is a fixed cost for 12 months. That did not change. And that gives us $110,069 fit, which is exactly 15% of total sales. So it does prove out, and that's how you go about analyzing the impact of making those kinds of decisions on your financial results. So the only way to do these kinds of things, to make these kinds of estimations and play around with what the volumes would have to be, is to put those costs into fixed and variable components and then set up a contribution margin and income statement so you can run those out and see what they look All right, we're gonna do the same for the cafe. I'll start a new video. I'll probably do 4A and 4B together and then 5A and 5B. So you have 2 more videos to watch.